Good morning. Morning has broken on this May the 6th.
7th.
6th, yes,
Sixth.
Cinco de Mayo. It is
Sixth.
the 6th. And we are your consecrated hosts. I'm Father Jeff, consecrated by holy orders.
I'm Jonathan. I'm consecrated by baptism.
You are a consecrated young man. Yeah. Well, good morning. Good to be with you all. The fiesta is over, and we're ready to dive into another day. It's sunny. It's not windy outside, at least yet. I don't know what the plans are, but yesterday was ridiculous.
I almost got blown away.
Ridiculously windy. Good Lord. So what's new and exciting? Anything going on in your life?
I have to mow the yard again.
It seems like every time I talk to you, you're mowing the yard.
Well, see, I have a battery-powered mower. So I can
Okay.
only do the front yard one day, then the backyard the other day. So now I need to do the backyard. Because I did the backyard early last week,
Yeah.
but with all the rain, and then I turned my sprinkler systems on, and
You can't plug it in.
the mower?
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't have a big long extension cord that you can... That seems unhelpful.
Well,
multiple mowings. But that's okay.
it's okay. It takes a while to mow anyways. We have a corner lot, so it's a lot of land.
A lot of
yard.
extra grass that you're taking care of and mowing.
Yep. Apparently it's Nurses Week. I saw it's Teacher Appreciation Week too.
I heard that it was Nurses Week or something like that, but I just heard. I didn't actually dig into it to find out. So if it is, happy Nurses Week.
Thank you to all the nurses who are working tirelessly.
Tirelessly. If it's also Teachers Appreciation Week, hey, I'd like... It says the logo is still up on the screen.
Oh, I didn't take it off. That would help.
Jonathan. You mean nobody can see me?
Actually, it's right in between us. It looks pretty good, actually.
That's kind of crazy. I don't think you're awake yet.
I've been tired. All this is wearing on me. Yesterday with Mass, it was just a full range of emotions.
It was a little, it was a little different. So we drove out our first Mass. I mean, we unfurled the first daily Mass yesterday. It went very smoothly. I'm appreciative to everybody who was very cooperative and
No one yelled at me because I sat them in a place they didn't like. So
exactly,
that was good.
that was good. So I think once we're getting things where they need to go, we're getting this figured out. But it was very, very smooth sailing. We probably had about 50% of our normal Mass crowd. Normally we range anywhere from 40 to 60 folks. We probably had 30-some yesterday.
Yep, and then we had another 48 to 50 on Facebook.
Okay.
So keep tuning into Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be doing all kinds of good things.
They love our live flub, so
I know.
we got a show for you.
We will flub up all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we need a reset. This whole morning has been a little bit off. We got in, we were just a little...
Yeah. I'm still trying to catch up. I got so many things and unanswered things, and it's like, oh yeah, I gotta get to that. Oh yeah, I gotta get to that. Oh yeah, I gotta do that. And it's like, I can never get, I told you that we were going to tape something this afternoon, and it's like, nope, can't do that because I have a deanery meeting online at 1 o'clock.
I just found this out.
That's what I'm telling you now. So that might be pushed back a little bit more towards the latter half of the afternoon rather than the earlier half of the afternoon.
Good to know.
Surprise! And I need to go to the grocery store because I think I've got 1 container of yogurt left in my refrigerator. That's what I'm eating.
Yum.
That's what I had for breakfast. It may be for lunch. And then I'll just lick the empty containers for supper. That's what's happening. I do need to go to the grocery store. So that is a plan this afternoon, question mark?
Question mark?
Well, we'll see.
Because we've been preparing for all these things.
We're preparing for the weekend.
We filmed 2 different videos that we need to send out today, so I'll be editing my life away. And
so, if you are from the parish here, you'll be getting an email today with the what to expect for Sunday Mass if and when you come back, and we'll kind of walk you through the procedures and show you what things look like and how we got things set up, and so you'll learn.
Hopefully.
I know. There is a little bit of anxiety around it. I think even just if you're coming back after having been away for 7 weeks, it's like, I don't know how this is all supposed to work. I mean, the ladies in the office were just talking about the hair appointments coming up and all of the different, the long list of...
You have to wait in your car till they come get you. You can't pay with a card.
Don't talk when your hair is being washed because you're going to, spew upon them as they're shampooing. I mean, it's just like, wow. It's kind of scary being in an interaction with someone. I'm not afraid.
Neither am I. Or else I'd have my mask on right now.
I'm a little afraid. But that's why I don't leave my little corner of the world.
And that's why you only have yogurt.
It's exactly right. Hy-Vee is the only place I go outside of the rectory, the office, the rectory, the office, Hy-Vee, a rectory, the office, the rectory. It's kind of been my life. And it looks like it will be for some time.
And that's more than a lot of people, though. I think as this goes on, the stress and everything else is really going to get to people, and that's why it's important to have things like this that people can just kind of escape a little bit.
I know. We need to have fun.
Yeah, we need to have fun. Let's redo the show. Morning has broken.
We are, we are ready to have a good, fun show. Let's play a game. I don't have any games. Should have brought a game. Should have brought a joke. I don't even have that.
You don't have a go-to joke?
I do have a go-to joke.
I'm afraid.
It's one of my favorites.
Now I'm afraid.
So, here's my joke. So, on a Sunday morning, there was a family, and mom and dad couldn't go to Mass, but they were sending their kid to church, and so got him all dressed up and said, now you walk to Mass, and then come back, and just make sure you look both ways before crossing the street, and all of that. And then there was a neighboring household that was not Catholic. They were Protestant, and they were sending their little girl off to service because, again, mom and dad were sick and couldn't go out, or I don't know what. And so the 2 kids were walking along, and they crossed over the little bridge and ended up at their various churches. And while they were both in church, the heavens opened up, and a deluge poured down, and it was raining like crazy, and the streets were just flooded, so that when the 2 kids came out of service in Mass, and they were walking, it was like a torrent was going in front of them, and they both stood there, and they stared at the water, and the little boy says, "Oh, I've got my new shoes and my church pants, and Mom would kill me if I got those all wet." And the little girl said, "Oh, I know I'm wearing my Sunday dress and my shoes and my stockings, and Mom would kill me if I got them wet." So they looked at each other, and they thought, and they says, "Well, what if we just took off all our clothes, held them over our heads, and crossed the street?"
So the rain had stopped at this point.
The rain had stopped at this point.
Just making sure, because then it's...
Yeah, so they that's what they did. They took off all of their clothes, they walked across through the raging water, and then when they got to the other side, they stood and stared at each other for a little bit.
This is a joke, right?
It's a joke, hush.
Okay.
So then they got all dressed up again, and before they went their separate ways, the little boy, after he had looked at the little girl, he said, "Wow, Mom was right. Catholics and Protestants really are different." Oh, that's hilarious. If I do say so myself. Maybe a little PG-13, I don't know. I do have some other ones, but I gotta. Well, we'll bring those tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't. You can't use all your gold material.
Can't use all the gold.
All right, I've not seen one laughing face go across. So
they're all like, "This joke took too long." Thanks, Cheryl.
Oh, well, there we got one. We got one.
Oh dear. Well, yeah. So that's my life. I told you we're here to laugh and make it all feel better.
Yeah. I'm in tears.
You're in tears. Well, you can be thinking about that when you're mowing your lawn today.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No saint today. This is one of those dead weeks. We don't have. It's as I was looking at it, it's like, oh, there's no saint today or tomorrow or the next day. There are saints scheduled for every day of the calendar, but not in the general calendar. I think we've talked about that once before, that every saint has its own day, and as they are unfolded, you celebrate them depending on where you live. And then there are some saints that are filled for the whole calendar. So the whole world, the general Roman calendar, celebrates certain saints. But there are none for this week?
None for this week?
None for this week here in the general Roman calendar. So we have no saints to talk about. Jonathan, you're not a very chatty person today.
No, I am.
Good Lord.
I am off of my game.
You need to go replace Jackie. I need someone to talk to.
Well, we have.
We have what?
Do you have favorite scripture passage?
No.
We've talked about it before.
Have I? Maybe.
I think it was in one of the quizzes or something, like maybe we did it in passing.
Maybe. I don't really have. I guess I don't know if I really have a favorite scripture passage. No.
Okay.
What I was thinking about today, this is the season of graduations, and there are many graduations are going virtual.
Yeah.
And they're not able to host the normal commencement exercises, the normal graduation stuff, so they're figuring out ways, whether it's a high school graduation or a college graduation, to do these virtually, and then maybe, just maybe, if there is anything coming down the road, or nothing coming down the road throughout the summer, that maybe July will be a time for some of these commencement exercises and graduations. So we want to give a big shout out to all of our graduating seniors. If you're graduating from high school, if you're graduating from college, or whatever you're graduating from, congratulations.
8th grade. I don't know if they're doing 8th grade graduation.
Some
going
places
into
have
high
8th
school.
grade. Some places have kindergarten graduations, which I think are dumb, but that's just my opinion. I never
offense
graduated.
to any of you
No
that have
offense
kindergarten
who are
graduations.
celebrating their kindergarten graduations. If you're watching this show and you're in kindergarten, you have permission from your mom and dad?
This counts as their screen time for the day.
This counts as screen time for the day. So yeah, screen time. That's something I didn't have to worry about. Yeah. Wow.
Ninja Turtles was only on for 30 minutes.
Your kids watching Ninja Turtles?
No, I watched Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you watched Ninja Turtles.
When I was little.
Well, a little bit of trivia. Graduation. There's a gown that typically is worn, and then bum 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 bum, and a hat.
And a hat, yep.
And a tassel.
And the hat, it doesn't matter who or where or what you are, it looks goofy.
Most hats look goofy. I mean, if you really think about the concept of a hat.
Not a baseball hat.
I look silly in a baseball cap.
Well, you look silly without the baseball cap, so...
Well, now you're all chatty all of a sudden.
Yep.
Why don't you go back to being quiet?
All right.
So they are silly hats. These square hats with these long tassel that dangles around, and yeah, they really don't flatter a whole heck of a lot. Do you know where those hats came from? Like the history of the mortarboard, the history of that square hat in a castle.
Did they use that to put the mortar, like to clean the mortar?
They did not. That is not where it came from.
Then I don't know.
So if you think about the school system that we are familiar with today, particularly the university system, is pretty much an invention of the church.
Right.
The Catholic Church was the first to start schools. I mean, if back in the day, the only people that went to school were those who were very wealthy. And they didn't really go to school. They had tutors. You know, you had someone come in, and this was Alexander the Great's tutor.
The teacher would come to your house.
Teacher would come to your castle, or whatever.
Castle,
pretty much.
No little shacks.
No. They came to your castle, and they would teach you. And then it was the church that began providing education, especially for the poor. And a number of saints were really focused on education of the youth, that if we are going to, Angela Merici, for example, she was convinced that if we're going to change culture, then we need to educate girls. We need to educate women, because women run the house. And if you educate the moms, and if you educate future, the heart of the home, then they are going to have such an impact. And so Angela Merici started the first school for girls. And
wow.
She, it was, many of these places were orphanages. Many of these places that were opened up as schools. That's how education began. The university system, as we know it today, really is kind of an invention of the church. And so when you graduated, when you no longer were the disciple, when you became a teacher yourself, essentially you were given the hat of your professor. You were given the hat of the teacher. Like, you've achieved the rank of master. You are no longer an apprentice, young Jedi. You are now a master.
No more Padawans.
No more Padawans. And most teachers back in the day were priests. They were the religious. And so you would receive the hat of the religious.
The literal hat.
The literal, well, not the guy, what you probably a copy of. It's like, I'm not going to give you my hat. It might not fit your head. You get a hat. So, you're all familiar with, perhaps, this hat right here. It is the biretta that is the priest's hat. And it, sometimes, you don't see them as much today. We're not really a hat culture, just in general in the United States. But back when we were a hat culture, everybody wore hats. And this was the hat that was worn by the priests. And you would see them often at the beginning of Mass and the end of Mass, so processing in, processing out. Maybe if you were doing an outdoor thing, you wore this hat. But the hat, you will notice, is a square.
Oh.
The hat is a square. And in the middle of that square hangs a tassel. The big black poofy tassel here. This is a giant tassel, but it's essentially it's a big tassel. So it is the big hat, so the square hat with a tassel that kind of lopes to one side here. And that was the hat then given when you graduated. Here, you yourself now are a teacher. And so the hat, the mortarboard, the square hat with the tassel, has its roots in Catholic history.
So why does it have just the three things and not one on this side?
These are the horns of the hat, and there are the three horns, and it was kind of a leveled thing. So this was the hat of a master, so you had three horns. The hat of a doctor would have a fourth horn on it. Now this is the priest's regular hat. Most priests have a master's degree. And so every priest, this is the hat, like if you wear the hat at Mass, or you wear the hat wherever, the biretta, which is what this is called, it will always have three horns. Even a bishop's hat, which would be purple, will only have three horns, regardless of what degree he holds. These hats, then, if you had your academic hat, so this is my liturgical hat. This is my biretta that I would wear at Mass or for some outdoor function.
Can you wear it at Mass one day?
You can. Well, I have, in fact. I wear it. I usually only wear it on the big special occasions. So I didn't wear it for Easter this year just because it's an empty church. A little different. But I wear it for Christmas, I wear it for Easter. If I'm the confirming prelate, no, I'm not a prelate, but if I'm confirming for the prelate, if the bishop says, Father Jeff, you do the confirmations, then I usually wear the hat for that. So I wear the hat for special things. That's my liturgical hat.
All right.
This is my academic hat.
Oh-ho-ho.
So you'll notice that, especially when you go to college, the tassels come in lots of different colors. The colors signify the field of study. And so this is my academic biretta. When I graduated from the Pontifical University in Rome, they grant pontifical degrees, and so you still receive the clergy hat for those degrees. And this biretta is trimmed, you can see, all in red.
That's got some pizzazz.
It's got some pizzazz. The red signifies that I'm licensed in sacred theology. And so this is my academic hat with all of the red pizzazz. This is the licential hat with the 3 horns. A doctoral biretta would have 4 horns, so you would see all 4. So it's just kind of the license, the STL degree, the doctoral degree.
So if you ever got
4.
a doctoral degree.
Only from a pontifical university. The pontifical universities grant this kind of hat. So every university then, so you'll notice that even some, like if you're an Oxford Don, they kind of have, I think, a floppier hat or a velvety hat. A lot of doctoral hats will simply just have the gold tassel in the center of them. So there's all of those academic dress. It all has its roots in the ecclesiastical world. Which is, I mean, when I went to the University of St. Thomas, the professors there loved to dress up in their regalia.
I'm sure.
Like, anytime they could. And this was just a regular Catholic university. But they would have these at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year. All of the professors were in their robes and their hats, and they would process through the campus. I don't know if they still do that, but it was quite a colorful sight. I mean, see where all of to see the people that went to different universities and the colors of their hoods and their hats and the robes and all of those things. It was really interesting. Yeah. So graduation.
I didn't know about those hats.
Look at that. Even now, if you're graduating from a public institution, it's got its roots in what the Catholic Church began.
And so does the moving of the tassel, is that just kind of the symbolism of actually like giving of the hat? Since it's not...
that moving of the tassel business, I don't know where that comes from. And there's even differing opinions. Is it supposed to be on the left side? Is it supposed to be on the right side? It really doesn't make sense to me. Because in the priest's biretta, the tassel, it falls to this side, it falls to the left. But I think in many graduation ceremonies, they move it from the left to the right, which would be backwards of this. So I'm not exactly sure where the moving of the tassel, where that came from, what that's all about.
The hat ends up in the air anyway, so...
And then you toss the hat up in the air and woo!
Yep.
Yeah. So there it is.
Hats.
There's a great book called How the Catholic Church Saved Western Civilization, or How the Catholic Church Built Western Civilization. It has something to do with the Catholic Church and Western civilization. And it's an interesting read if you like history, and to really kind of remember that a lot of what we do, especially that has built Western civilization, without the Church, we wouldn't have it. And why a number of places outside of the West are very different in terms of their approach to life.
Well, schools, hospitals, all those things.
Schools, hospitals, human dignity, the idea of equality, democracy even is built out of, will be taken over by this theory.
I should know better. I'm having a slow day, if you couldn't tell.
He's having a slow day. You're not on antihistamines again, are you?
No, I did take some Sudafed. This change in weather, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was I had some sinus issues yesterday.
But isn't there whatever class you were born into? So this is an Eastern religion. It's like you just remain in that class. You can't actually grow or level up.
Level up. For
Video
games. For the gamers out there, no leveling up.
Can't raise your attributes.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I think they're like in some of the caste systems. Mm-hmm. That it's just not possible to rise up out of the
which
caste.
is really sad. Because so someone asked weeks ago now about, it was St. Pope Benedict, Pope Emeritus Benedict, the 16th birthday. Yeah. And they said, what's your favorite quote by him or anything else? And we had nothing because we couldn't think of it. Later that day, I was just like, I have it.
You have it.
But I haven't responded to it in weeks. But here I am now. And it is, this world promises you comfort, but you are not made for comfort, you are made for greatness. And it suits this time, it suits everything. And it's hard to be made for greatness when you're stuck where you are. If you're looking at the caste system.
Oh, yeah. I see that. If the world tells you can go nowhere.
Right. And then how are you... But God promises us glory, eternity, everything. He promises us everything.
Absolutely.
And so it's just... That really fires me up that we were made for greatness. Doesn't matter if you're the most nominal Catholic, you go to Mass. Maybe in years you haven't been to Mass. God still wants you to be great and to be lifted in His glory. And if you're a priest or a bishop or even a pope, He wants that same glory for you too. And so it doesn't matter. Every single person's meant for glory.
Meant for glory and meant for greatness. And that reminds me of something written from the Second Vatican Council, that we are, as people of faith, we are in the world, but we are not of the world.
Right.
That we are of someplace else. We are of heaven. We are of God, and we just happen to be in the world.
Right.
And so that is that's a good reminder, because we are not limited by this world. We're not called to conform ourselves to the world. We're called to conform the world to heaven.
Right. And thank God, because this world is a messy, horrible place. When in the grand scheme of things, where there's deceit, there's corruption.
It really is a dog-eat-dog world.
But once you get to heaven, it's just all
the restoration of
resting
paradise.
in bliss.
Resting in bliss.
There's nothing better. It gets me pumped up. I want to be in heaven.
Now he's excited as our
Hey, look at that.
As we're coming to the top of the hour. Now he starts to wake up.
Well, it took that long for that joke for me to get through the joke.
The joke was wonderful. I need to think about how to work it for a COVID-19 world. I just didn't give it that much time. But I got a better joke tomorrow.
Better joke
tomorrow.
Like
the best joke in the whole wide world. That good.
All right, well,
it's awesome, but I got to put it together in my head again because it's lengthy. I only deal in long jokes.
Shocker.
I
like the one-line zingers.
Give me one.
No, it has to be like spur of the moment. You got to be quick.
But do you have a go-to joke? You asked me if I had a go-to joke.
I don't.
Okay, well. We don't really have any news or updates for today. We're just kind of working through, getting ready. Like I said, if you're from the parish here, we'll be sending you an email, hopefully today. Jonathan has a little editing to do on some videos that we shot yesterday about, hey, you're coming to Mass again, maybe. So here's what you can expect and how to go about it. And if you're not coming to Mass yet, keep watching on the live stream. That will be 9 o'clock Sunday morning. Not 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock Sunday morning.
And I'll post something on Facebook this week, get it going.
Do some reminders there for you.
Yeah, no, just remember today that our whole purpose is to love, know, and serve God. That's why we're here on earth. And so today, in some way, some form, even if you're at home, oh my goodness gracious.
Come on. You have to know first.
Know God, love Him, and serve. Call someone, pray, read a book. That's what we're meant to do. And that's the best thing you can do. So, do that today. Share with us how you did it. Have a good day.
We'll see you tomorrow, and I promise we'll get this one ready to go before the cameras. I think it's because we start a half hour earlier now.
I'm not a morning person.
He is not a morning person. I'm usually here at the office at 7 in the morning. I'm ready to roll. I've been here 3 hours already.
I'm sleeping at 7 in the morning.
Jonathan,
have a good day.
Get some editing done.
Morning has broken.
I'm going to wear both of my hats at the same time.
What's more ridiculous? 2 hats or the taco hat? And it didn't go.